right, Lee, take it away whenever you ready.
Hi.
Dope. I'm leaving that in.
Hi, we're Heard from a Friend. My name is Lee Saris. We have Ninju B, Steve here. We have Rich Scorpion, Scorpy here with us as well. For your guys' favorite new and maturing podcast.
You were gonna say improved.
I was gonna say improve, but there isn't any real improvements. We're just kind of slowly crashing,
Listen,
burning.
it's an
but
improvement from the first episode, considering the what's it called, lost
This
episode.
technically our third.
That's why I'm saying the first lost episode, because that one got fucked completely. But
yeah, true. True.
You're our host today. You
Okay.
do most of the talking.
Okay. We have some topics already in mind to talk about today. Will range from them. We're not too sure if we want to touch on like super serious stuff that's been going on, because I'm from a different community than they are, and a lot of stuff's been going on in my community that involves a lot of safety stuff that's been going on, surprisingly enough, and it's always been like a thing. I'll mention it most likely, just not all of it, because some of it's pretty fucked. But there's also some really important stuff that's going on in the world. I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but we'll touch on it, saying that we support everybody's choice to make whatever choice they want involving their bodies and whatever's going on with it. Your body, your choice, none of our business whatsoever. So
Sure.
yeah.
So I wanted to really quickly add. Well, I guess technically we're not gonna say our stances just because we don't want to get too political with anything. Which honestly, really, whatever. It's a whole different topic. I was gonna say all the people that are the companies that are coming out like saying that they're going to
support choices.
Yeah, like they're paying and stuff like that for
the compensation.
My company's doing that. Like the place that I work for, cool. It was like completely out of left field, because I was like, oh, I didn't think that they would actually touch base on it. But yeah, they straight up said like, hey, like what's it called? Yeah, just so you know, if any of our employees or beneficiaries, so you know, kids or spouses, whatever, if they need it, if they need to get it done, they will pay for travel, what's it called, for the procedure and all this other stuff. So
Wait,
that's cool.
Basically everything, huh?
That's question for you. I thought you guys aren't just SoCal?
No. Well, what's it called? Okay, so the place
I thought you guys were only SoCal.
So think of it like think of
You're
it
a branch.
like a branch, yeah, basically. So
we're all located in Southern California, by the way.
Yeah. So
hot as balls.
The place that I work for has like 6-ish locations close together. The furthest one that still has our name is in Vegas, at least originally. And then our parent company, they're like everywhere. So what's it called? Their headquarters is in North Carolina.
Okay.
But they have like places in freaking what's it called, Utah, and Salt Lake City, Colorado. You know, basically all these places. But they're just like, yeah, like, you know, if you guys need something, or like if you guys need to get it done, like like they support choice, basically what they've said.
Cool.
Good.
That's cool. I'm glad that
yeah.
that your company came out and said something. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was with Steve. I assumed that you were part of like a small chain of like places that were located only in SoCal. I didn't know that it was like a big chain almost.
Right. No,
that's cool though.
I was like a big left field too, because like everybody's just like, oh, frick. No, nobody expected the same thing.
Oh, it's just finer details. I was gonna wonder about deeper questions that my brain's like, I wonder if that involves states that aren't gonna be like implementing it or whatever, because there are states that are like,
I'm sure
cool, but nah.
Well,
no,
I imagine
sure
so, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I
would
just
figure.
a well-rounded thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Overall, like, excuse me.
Well, cause
weed.
Because I'm guessing that they're kind of copying, like, who was the other one that like
Dick's.
big popular? Dick's. I think Target was doing it too. No.
Target did mention it.
Yeah. Well,
there's something wondering whispers on my side of the business as well, but they haven't said anything just yet.
But I'm saying like, you know, these places that have fucking locations literally, you know, everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and they've come out and said like, yeah, we're going to what's it called, wherever you need to get it
Support
done,
their
we'll
employees.
pay for it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say, like, just to minorly go deeper into it, the gaming community's response to gaming companies coming out and saying that they support and will financially support those choices. Some of the gaming community, or like from what I've seen on Twitter's a cesspool, I know, but has been like, why would you even give your opinion on this? We're only in it for the video games. Well, how dare you tarnish this idea of you guys, of me in your head or my head or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically just saying that they don't like that they're giving their opinion, or the game company's taking a stance on some real world shit. And it's like, guys, just because they make a virtual thing, merchandise, piece of entertainment, something you choose to waste your time on. I mean, we waste our time on this stuff, by all means. But at least we stream in, or semi-stream.
Like,
but
we're kind
at
of
least you guys stream, and there
actual...
is some type of like something coming out of it, whether that be fun or deeper knowledge or experience, and like editing, or maybe, you know, wanting to make it a future career or whatever. That's still some drive, so it's not technically a waste in my opinion, but IMO.
I think...
But yeah, people just taking a stance and saying that they don't like their game company taking a stance on something that's really world happening, when these people that make the games are real world people that have real world issues to deal with. Right. Could possibly involve that.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I think the people who come out, or like the people who are lashing out these topics, are saying like, oh, why would you come out, like, you're a video game company, you have nothing to do with this. It's like, I think these people forget that it's human beings that are making these games, which, like you mentioned, got bills, got lives, got things going on in their lives, in their personal lives. Like, it's not an AI making a whole video game. It's not one sole person sitting there behind a desk.
It's someone like you and me and Richard and just
like, no,
like a whole group of people.
This is like a community of workers, of people who are under a payroll, and it's like, who are gonna be affected by this, and or could be affected by this. So
yeah. So I was like, when you said that too, I just immediately started thinking of the whole Blizzard shit with renaming. Well, what was McCree back then is now known as Cassidy.
To Cassidy.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was just like, there's something, like, I don't get like how people are like, dude, you're a video game company, keep your mouth shut, or whatever the fuck. It's like, there's some things where, as a company, it makes a big impact. Even, or influencers, it makes a big impact. You saying stuff that are, honestly, like, I guess it's one-sided, literally. If it's the correct side, and then the other side is literally just, I don't want to acknowledge what's going on. And what's it called? I was just like thinking about there's some real world shit that no matter what, you kind of have to speak on it. As a, like I said, as a company, to kind of show that, like, hey, like, we understand what's going on in the world, and or in this case, what's it called? But we just want to let you guys know, like, that we are on, I guess, technically
we're on this side of the fence or whatever, right? Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's also a nice way to humanize. I mean, I feel like it's also because no, don't want to get too political. Never mind. I saw TikTok and then I looked into it a little bit more and I was like, wow, they really did do this. But it's just a nice way to humanize, like, again, because they are people that are making it and stuff like that, and being around people that were like actual developers and lighting artists. I didn't even know that. I assumed that was just like a developer, but there's like specific things, very specific things are like those. That's a group of people. Like the lighting in a game, that could be anywhere from like 5 to 6 people. Can you imagine? Like, you need 5 to 6 people to like
shadows and shit.
Code this, code this, code this, code this, code all that. If this was a video game, of course it's like whatever, but still, you know what I mean. There's a lot of people and it affects a lot of them. So it's good that your company took us. Speaking of gamers, first topic that we want to touch on, Greek God and his fucking.
Okay, so Steve doesn't know the story.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
So Greek God is a longtime streamer. He was a heftier fellow, coming, as a hefty person. He was just kind of a comedy dude. Honestly, I mean, okay, again, come from IMO, my own opinion, being a hefty dude. It just seems like he was one of those dudes that's like, I'm fat, but I'm also funny. and I'm funny because I'm also kind of fat, and that's just something that like it feels like people that are more on the hefty side, we kind of either linger on the hyper aggressive, super hyperactive, or very funny. I feel like there's like it's like those three hypers almost.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of was a very funny, bigger dude. The reason why I mentioned the big thing anyways is because he lost a lot of weight, documenting his weight loss on Twitch and working on stuff like that. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really inspirational. I even thought about, working out more, and that's what kind of put me in a mindset of like, maybe I should take care of myself more. Not you. I just took a hit before we did this, so maybe not really working. But
there's people who take hits. There's people who take hits like they'll
to work out.
Yeah, before they work out.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be
really
good.
There's a dude out here in LA
your...
that I just recently followed today, and I was like, there's recent TikToks, and he was like, does anybody ever take a hit or smoke a bowl before they go to the gym? Because I do.
It helps like a real it's like a real thing, and it's supposed to be good for like your blood flow.
Oh,
there's actual science behind it. Yeah.
Well, it's the oxygen, and it opens up and oxidizes.
I was like, just stand on the treadmill. But anyway,
anyways, so Greek, I don't know where he's been. I haven't really seen anything of him. There was just a lot of like his weight loss journey and like documenting, and people kind of like giving their opinions because I guess he like. I don't know. Somebody put him on the front page, I guess, again of Twitch or something, and then everybody kind of got hyped again and saw how much weight he's lost. But I don't know where he went. Don't know. I assume he's been streaming still.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason why we're bringing him up today is that he had a point of view of like the way he wants his wife women because he's into women. Yeah. He wants her to be like a caretaker, basically, like just cooking, cleaning for him, not working whatsoever. If the only breadwinner in his family is gonna be him, and it's gonna be done with streaming, and that should prove to her something like that, because streaming is such a toxic thing for him, and it's such a like a mind fuck, I guess, or something so negative for his headspace
because of what he went through.
Well, no, just being on Twitch, because honestly, Twitch can be a cesspool. But also. That was kind of about it. That's all, at least that I consumed. And then because for me, I'm a different breed of person or whatever, because I'm not gonna say my lifestyle choice, but because of my lifestyle, I am different, whatever, and I expect people to respect that, being gay, also a minority person of color or whatever, and also being hefty, I just expect people to just be okay with my lifestyle choices. Mm-hmm. So when he was saying stuff like that, my brain was immediately like, I don't agree and I don't like it, but I'm gonna watch this single clip and then just kind of, because I feel like that's his general point, is what he said, and then that's it. I don't really give a shit, because he also said in there like, this is my lifestyle choice and this is what I want, this is what I expect, or something like that. And I was like, that's fair, but it's also kind of like, it sounds fair, like there's something deeper going on underneath all that maybe you might want to address, because I always think it's kind of goofy to have one breadwinner in the entire family or household when you could have two.
Yeah.
Because I mean, so what if? I don't know.
From what I saw, he was basically saying like he said, he wants the traditional household thing where he, main thing he said, he doesn't want a wife that streams. Because the main thing about it is that he thinks Twitch is like he said, a freaking a mental health cesspool that basically is just gonna cause a lot more stress. And all he wants is that if that he wants to make the money, he'll be the one streaming. What's it called? Have the wife take care of the kids, clean the house. The thing about it is I completely agree. Like, everybody has their own kind of lifestyle. Everybody has their own choices when it comes to, what they want from a partner. But at the same time, it's just like the way he said it, it was just more along the lines of like dominance / toxic masculinity type of.
That's what I got from
very alpha.
Very alpha, very much. I'm the man. You do what I say type of shit. Yeah. And it was just it was so fucking distasteful. And I'm like, he tweeted something later. He said oh, it's just more along the lines of like that, how I think he said that both of his parents were working or some shit like that, or he was putting like the analogy there that when they're working, there's no one really to take care of the kids, and that they miss out on a figure like that sometimes, or that's basically
Like
what
on a
he doesn't
parental
want,
figure?
right? So he said, like, if my wife happens to make more money than I do, then I would be the stay at home dad, or what's it called, like, have them just work. And I'm like, I understand the thought process, but at the same time, I'm like, it's really gonna be fucking hard to find anybody kind of like that. Like, it's also just saying, like, if you're making more money than your partner, is just like, yeah, whatever you want to do, that sucks. I'm gonna be the breadwinner. I don't care, like, what's it called. I don't want you to do anything else except be basically like a nanny in a sense. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I didn't like that shit at all. But yeah, that was basically
Okay.
everything that he got. He got banned, also. So.
Yeah, he got banned.
Sick.
Just to put extra, because I decided to Google to see if I could find like the little clips of him, like what he tweeted or whatever. One of his most recent tweets 5 hours ago is, "It's actually sad to see so many girls selling their bodies for money. There's more to life than that."
He's very
never mind.
distasteful.
Fuck
No,
God.
okay. So on top of that,
Jesus, he's kind of misogynistic.
He is
Very-
misogynistic.
So
Yeah.
along with that, because obviously he was hinting like OnlyFans and shit like that, right? So he's during his little rant, he also started throwing shit at Mizkif.
Oh yeah,
Because
Yeah.
Mizkif, he was saying, like, dude, he's like bringing all of these
Mizkif is
OnlyFans
constantly bringing
models
OnlyFans girls on stream.
and
Yeah.
he's like, what's it called?
But they're
Basic-
gamers.
But he's
Well, see, that's the thing, is that Mizkif has an audience that is a little bit younger. Some of them are
Right.
like, I guess,
Yeah.
the
His
demographic
his demographic is like 12 to like 16 or some shit like that.
right. So
Yeah,
so
well,
Greek
like,
God is
that's what
saying,
I
like,
think of.
dude, you're basically promoting OnlyFans or porn
Like,
to what's it
promoting
called
sex.
to young people, and it's just
Mhm.
like, dude, like, I don't know. It was
Well,
very
the point-
fucking crazy.
Yeah, Mizkif had responded to it, and the reason why, like, I even saw it because of Mizkif. He was saying that Greek was like, yeah, the man doesn't take advertisement or an offer to do a sponsored stream for gambling, but will bring on girls that do OnlyFans while he has impressionable young audience. But you got a guy like Greek who actually does gamble on stream and is doing that. I mean, again, no harm, whatever. Do what you're gonna do, get your bank and spend it however you're gonna spend it. But understand, like, if you're gonna call someone out on their shit, which
You
is,
gotta be
in
prepared
my
to take on
opinion,
their shit.
not that bad, then you gotta understand that, well, guess what? You're just
Yeah.
as bad, if not worse. God forbid a 12-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, whatever, 8-year-old, like, that's, it's not right, but it's the internet, new age. It's gonna happen, and at least Mizkif isn't fucking them on camera and shit like that and putting that out there. I mean, what, I'd watch it if he did. Mizkif's kind of cute. It's the eyes. But
Oh, their eyes are nice.
like, really think about it. Like, showing some kid a hot, pretty person, fully clothed, just booling, chilling, whatever,
Yeah.
or have them ingest a guy
Usually-
gambling and making a habit.
I was like,
bad,
he usually has them like playing like games.
They're
like,
they're mostly
just
it's
chilling.
mostly just chatting,
like
honestly.
fucking
Yeah,
like
and
fucking playing
slightly
Being
gaming or
Boozled and
something.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't watched
So-
anything, but I don't even think, does he bring up like what they do, or is it just like
No.
kinda,
oh,
like,
I have no
there?
idea.
No.
I think
no.
so. I don't know.
mean, I watch him, so he doesn't.
Oh,
people
okay.
people just know who they are.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Figured.
Like
It's just
like
like-
like the audience.
It's like
knows
if you
who it is.
mention Johnny Sins, almost every single man's head is like,
It's like he's really good friends with Alinity, and it's like she'll pop up
Mm.
in his stream all the time, and
blood
like
chef.
like sometimes they'll talk about something, but it never like alludes to like, oh, she does porn, like nothing like that. It's like, it's just jokes.
Mhm.
Mm,
So now that I know the story, 3
mhm.
things.
Yes.
One, I grew up in a household like that.
Right.
Yes.
I grew up in a military household, so my dad was very in Hispanic culture, we call it machista.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, it's my house, my rules, my say. We have kids. You are the wife. You take care of them. You cook, clean, take them to school, blah, blah, blah. You fill in all the parts that have nothing to do with work, and I do the work. I saw this man get upset when my mom went out of her way to get a job. Later on, thanked her and said, hey, like, I never realized that you helping was an actual help, to a lot of things. 2, I've never agreed with that mindset because of how I grew up, because I saw it firsthand. I think him putting it out there, sure, you have you have, you're entitled to your own opinion and how you think and how you behave and however you want to like say things. That's fine. Um, I just don't think that him saying that now in this day, in this age, this generation, it's not approved, because the things that people tend to forget is that the way marriage was back then was very business aspect. It was, we marry, we produce, you take care of them, I continue working. That was the law of the land. And it was very, women don't have say or do in this relationship, because I'm the man and I'm the one who makes money, so you're gonna listen to me. It's like it's not, it doesn't fall under death do us part. It's, you'll die when I say you die, and that's it. You know,
Right.
and basically that's where it falls. Um, and then three, yeah, I think people who try to out, like, people who are chasing their coin as far as OnlyFans or any sort of income, um, fuck you. Like, it's like, dude, it's at the end of the day, it's like you're chasing your own bread. You know, like, sorry if this person upsets you because they're making more money, and I bet you 9 out of 10 it's because they're girls. It has nothing to do with them, like what they're doing. It's because they're probably women. And keep in mind, that's my opinion. That's what I think. I don't know this person. I don't know how they think. I have no correlation. I don't even watch the stream. I don't know who this is. You know, I don't even know the face of the person. But overall, I think it's just more like, you voice out an opinion to try to sound above others when you're really voicing out an opinion to a generation that doesn't believe in any of that anymore. So to them, it's very like, ew, dude, like, you really think like this? Like, and I'm sure a lot of girls came out and said, like, who says that I can't make more money than you, or why do you think that I shouldn't be allowed to work if I want to make my money? I want to be independent on my end, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, independency is the biggest thing, especially when it comes to someone's coin, you know? No one's really comparing and contrasting who makes more. It's more like, okay, you make this amount, I make this amount, so how do we make more as a couple, as a unit, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I don't know. I think anybody who tries to out people who have OnlyFans, or do whatever they do to fucking make money, is a shitty thing to do, and it's not really an opinion. It's just you kind of being an asshole. Because it's like the same thing when people come out and they're like, "Oh yeah, like, what do you do for work?" It's like, "Oh, I drive Uber Eats." It's like, dude, that's not a job. It's like, yes, it is. You're getting paid. You're doing something. It's not. They're not traditional jobs, but it's a job,
Mm-hmm.
and a job is a job. And if you're getting a bag, then you're getting a bag, no matter what it is. So yeah, the guy sounds gross.
Yeah.
Like like I like I said, he's entitled to his opinion, but my opinion is, dude, you're gross. And it's like, if you still think like that, like, that's like, you're a weirdo. Like, you shouldn't think like that, and it's fine. I mean, if his wife's okay with that, then cool. By all means, it's like, hey, you're the one who married him. Like, we're not in that relationship, you know. It's like, if you're okay with that, then you're okay with that. But in all honesty, my opinion is just ill, dude. Like, it should never work. I can't picture myself a life where I tell Jess, hey, you're gonna make a baby with me, and you're gonna take care of that thing, and then you're just gonna go, and then you're gonna make sure that I come home to a home cooked meal, morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a house clean, and that's all you get to do. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want that, and I for sure know Jess would not want that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's just, I don't know. That traditional shit is so outdated,
Right.
and
So
it's so weird.
when it comes to like traditional shit, we call it traditional because that's how it was back in, I don't know, almost 100 years ago now. Um,
Less.
but it's really fucked up. Like when you think about like, we're not in the same state of the world anymore. Where realistically, at least for most people, you get to like the top percent or whatever where this doesn't really apply. But um, you're a one income household is very fucking rare, and
Yeah.
honestly, is
Yeah.
a very very fucking risky thing to do in this
Yeah.
day and
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
um what's it called? I say that coming from a household where the only one who worked at least, my parents was my dad. And my dad fucking worked for years, but he worked at a factory for like 12 plus years that I know of, and then he switched over like to a hospital, like basically till retirement.
I was gonna say, did he work when I met him? Because no, right?
No, so when you met him, yeah, that's a whole different story. Point is, what's it called? My mom, on the other hand, was the one that stayed at home. But this is also coming from a migrant family at the time. When they came, obviously my dad was already a citizen when they came, so that helped him, establish and get jobs and whatnot. But my mom, obviously, like, her process takes time, and citizenship, it's just fucking stupid when it comes to the United States. But
Yeah.
anyway, so she would stay home. She would take care of, at the time, my nephew, who was like 2 years old max. What's it called? And then eventually, other kids started coming into the family, and it was always kind of sure, it was always kind of her, helping raise the kids and stuff. But then my dad had to stop working, and that's when you start seeing things. And my mom even told me, she's like, dude, I really wish I had gotten a job, because then the money wouldn't have been such an issue, in a sense. It's
Yeah.
literally just like, it taking care of the kids is one thing, but when they're in school half the time, when they're uh what's it called, around, you know uh more family, I guess that also depends too, like, because you know especially in a Latino household, like, everybody puts in hands to take care of the kids. So
Yeah.
what's it called, sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, whatever,
Whoever lives
everybody's,
there.
yeah, literally, it's like, who's watching the kids? Oh, this person is for right now, or whatever the fuck. But point is, yes, like, she would end up doing like little jobs here and there, just to help out, what's it called, you know get the income a little bit higher. But I don't know, I would still say, like, at the end of the day, to uh one income is just an absolutely shit idea, and on top of that, it's just very limiting when it comes to the other person's thing. Like I said, if the other person's okay with not having a job, and being the household, uh wife, husband, whatever, that's fine. But in if it's really hard to just be like, hey, putting a terms, in a sense of, like, you can't do any can't follow any dream career or anything that you want, if you want it. Like, that's very
Yeah.
fucking, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, I get the whole like, I get the whole family thing of like, you want, like, if you're looking at it in the standpoint of, I don't want my kids to grow up how I did, parental without a parental figure, without that type of like parent daughter son bonding thing, then I get that.
Mhm.
I just think the issue behind the entire thing, was the way it was said,
Yeah.
because it came out, like you mentioned, it came out very misogynistic, and it came out very like, this is my house, this is my rules, this is my say.
Right.
You don't agree with it, well, that's on you, not on me, because this is my place. And it's like, okay, dude, like, yeah, you're the king of your castle, whatever. It's like, there's just, but I, till this day, I still stand where it's like, there's just some things that, if you're gonna say it in front of a mirror a couple times, and if it doesn't sound right to you, then maybe you shouldn't say it that way, you know?
Either way, I think if you're gonna say something, you just better be ready for any
Yeah,
consequence slash rebuttal. You
yeah,
know.
So, with all that being said, I think, to preface with how we see things and stuff like that, it's where we're at too. California is mad expensive. LA too, surrounding areas, you better have a main hustle and a side hustle, and then
yeah.
some change.
Mm-hmm.
Because fuck living here on a one income house, like, that's
Mhm.
crazy. Unless you got that kind of education
Possible.
or luck or blessing, or the universe loves you or whatever, that you have enough money to sustain it,
Sustain.
Yeah.
sustain yourself or whatever, then it's kind of tough out there. But I would assume in other places it might be easier. But I think I think he has every right to say it, and I would totally love to be in that situation, honestly. Like, I'd staying home, not having to do the work or job or whatever. That's fine with me. But that's also just because I'm kind of lazy. But I think the way he said it, it's always the way you say things, the way the delivery is given. You could have just said, yeah, man, honestly, I just don't want my partner working. I just wasn't raised on that. That's just not my views. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. And then just kept it hustling, just kept going with it, whatever. When it's all about the delivery. When you deliver it the way Greek delivered it, it's like, it's kind of like your tone of voice is pointed and it's kind of sharp or blunt, and you're just kind of trying to throw a jab at other people that don't agree with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, doubling up on all the whole like OnlyFans thing, sex worker thing, selling your body for money things. It's like, okay, you clearly have a traditional viewpoint. Maybe you should, I don't know, foster an audience or go to a space where this viewpoint can be shared. If you're not okay with people telling you you're dumb and you're whatever you are, like us talking about it when we don't agree clearly. But if you don't care, then by all means, you can always just share your opinion, Merc or whatever,
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can say whatever you want, you're just be ready for the consequence.
Yeah, just prepare for anybody else to say whatever they want.
Exactly.
Words words have effect, basically. Words are now actions. So, action and effect, cause and effect or whatever.
Just saw something right now. This is just kind of off topic from this. Apparently in some states, vasectomy is on a rager right now, so.
Oh, yeah, it's the whole topic. It's a little political.
So bit, yeah.
But it's the whole. It touches on.
Would you get one?
Would I get one?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I think I would. Too.
Yeah,
I would. They're reversible, right?
As far as I heard.
Yeah, it's standpoint, and it's it's non-invasive or whatever. So
which is kind of shitty to think about, like when it's like how we're like. Is it this? Like, we have all these questions. It's like, bro, why were we not taught about this in school? Like,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So on top of the same thing, same kind of what we just said right now, the fact that we don't know. Did you guys see or hear about the Baymax thing that's going on right now?
I heard there's a series coming out on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Okay. So
I didn't hear about that.
Big
but I know
Hero 6, the Disney show, Pixar or whatever, movie. Baymax has his own show on Disney Plus. Okay, Disney. And they're just 10-minute shorts. It's kind of like Way of the House Husband, where it's just a little short, a little tidbit here and there, and then at the end of every episode, you do get Hiro, the main one of the main characters from Big Hero 6, just kind of, I guess, going over what happened, or it's just the last credit, little funny tidbit or whatever.
Right.
But the most recent, I guess, episode, or one of the episodes, touches on periods. It touches on menstruation, I should say. The specific scene that people are taking issue, well, it's the whole episode they have an issue with. But the specific scene that was going around was Baymax is standing in a tampon or menstrual product aisle, and it looks over to a person next to him and asks, what do you use, or what's the best option? And the person's like, oh, I use this for this. Oh, I use this for this. Oh, I use this for this. I'll get this. And if you're going to get her something else, then make sure it doesn't involve bleach or byproduct or something like that.
Like infomercial type of thing.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just Baymax at a tampon aisle and just buying some shit. And it's kind of cute. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But one of the core issues is the fact that it's a kid's show and they're talking about periods. But the other thing was a specific scene had a trans person, and the only reason, like, it's funny because nobody really paid attention to it. According to the comments, nobody really noticed it because it was so, like, it's just a person.
Yeah.
But the person had a very, like, mask presentation, and they had a trans flag on. So it, gave the impression or the idea, oh, this is a trans person, and Disney's just being inclusive. So they had an issue with that. They had an issue with the core issue, Baymax, Disney giving menstruation infomercials basically, and then them also pushing the like whole trans agenda or whatever they want, whatever it was that they had an issue with. And but the people that are having an issue with this are also the same people that had an issue with the 0.4 second kiss that happened in the Buzz Lightyear movie with the commander woman.
I still haven't watched it, bro.
the white woman. I mean, that's it. That's like,
I think
she's not white.
These are the same. these whatever, these are the same people that have an issue with that. So it's like, what? Why
listen,
it's again though, so that goes into what we were saying. How do we not know what a vasectomy entails?
Right.
That's important information. I feel like we should know that. We should know all our options available to us. So for like a woman or a girl or a person going through their very first like period, the character was 12, and the people had issue with like it being shown to children. It's like, apparently, according to science or whatever, some people can have their periods as young as 7 years old or 8 years old.
Yeah.
And your kid is, I guaranteed, watching this show at that age. Maybe, a little bit younger, but man, at least your kid's asking you questions about what's going on with their body. Good.
Yeah, good.
That's good.
That's a good thing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, so when it comes to the whole vasectomy thing and like the whole, I guess, like the fucking trans thing and all that stuff, I guess it could be sensitive topics to some people because, certain ways they were raised or whatever the fuck.
Right.
When it comes to periods, though, it's like, dude, that's probably the most natural thing that could possibly happen to anybody.
Well, it's gonna happen
in humans in general. It's something that'll happen to I don't want to say every, because some cases could be there, but point is, it's a very natural thing, and the fact is, like, because you're uncomfortable with it because they're kids, but at the same time, it's like you have to teach them at some point, and obviously it's like teaching them about it doesn't have to be this kind of like taboo type of like, oh, it's gross, it's something that you shouldn't learn about because it has to do with sex or anything like that. Like, no, it's something that is very, very natural, and you should teach them as soon as you really can, really, and if
as soon as they can understand.
Right. And it really, it's as far as I know, is like, if you don't want to do that, it's literally just because you're uncomfortable with it, with even starting up the conversation, which something like that, like a little short, a cartoon short, should help you.
That should be a tool
exactly
for you as a
open the
parent.
door to the conversation.
Because God, when I was younger, like obviously the most like that was uncomfortably talked about, TMI, by the way, this might be a little bit TMI for some people, was how to clean myself properly because of the choices that my parents made for me and my member or whatever. And then it's also the whole, like, obviously the birds and the bees. That was the most that I got, was those two topics of conversations: cleanliness
I'd never got
and
to talk.
birds and bees.
I never got to talk.
I didn't even get birds and bees. I got dog and dog because we had a little chihuahua trying to hunt my fucking German shepherd, and my dad was like, "You see that? You see that?
You're gonna do that one day.
He's
You're a dog.
He likes her.
He's trying to breed.
He wants to have sex with her." And I was like, "Okay." And my brother's next to me, and I look at him, and he looks at me. He's like, I'm like,
what is this?
Like, stare, right? For audio listeners.
And so you see, like dogs, men and women also. And I was like, all right, we don't need to do this. I think that was like the first time I was like really real with my dad. I'm like, we don't have to do this or something like that. And I was like, I'm not gonna get the birds and the bees talk while we're talking about the dogs and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you guys get the school video going out of 5th grade?
Yes.
I was asked. Like, my parents didn't want me to watch it though. I was like one of the few like fucking 10 or 8 kids that were off in the side room waiting and just playing with fucking Monopoly or some shit like that.
Drinking a little thing of orange
Drinking a juice. Yeah, that was it. That's what we did.
That's my parents. My dad was like, he's gonna learn it anyways. Go ahead.
It makes me wonder what is shown to the girls, because I remember the guys.
So
each one gets a different.
They're different.
But
I feel like the girls get like more intense shit, I guess. I don't know,
no.
Man.
So they basically they learn about because I remember when we got out, we were fucking shit kids. Dude. We got out and we're like, dude, what did he show you guys? What did he talk about? The basic video is just like, this is what you do when a period happens. This is what happens when you start seeing your chest get bigger. Like, you wear a bra. Like, this is blah blah blah. For guys, it was like, hey, you have a boner, and you put that shit away.
It was that. It was also start wearing deodorant because you're gonna smell like shit. Yeah. And then hair is gonna grow.
Yeah.
For us.
And then
it's just
it was basically the whole boner thing was a joke. It is basically it falls into like, hey, you're gonna start seeing like things happen to your body
changes or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna see body changes and you're gonna see these type of things happen. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's going to happen for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's just ways to situate it.
Okay, see, that's what we get, and then that's the extent. Other than getting sex ed, and then in sex ed, for what I remember, was just a fucking college student that was in a health course or something that came in and showed us slides and then asked us if we have any questions about what we're seeing, which was a bunch of STDs, scarring nonetheless.
Yeah.
And then if we have any just general questions about sex, and then she like was making comments about hentai, because what she was saying was the shit that I had seen on hentai. Yeah, I watched hentai. Still do. But it was very weird. It's like that's the extent that at least I got, and then I just learned the rest from like internet, clearly, because that's the world. But yeah.
So,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so going back to like our original topic of what led to this. So vasectomy, the biggest political thing behind it is, why is it that men get to get it reversed, but if a woman ties her tubes, that's it, that's a done deal. But that falls under the same thing of like, it's not fair, I guess, that they put so much science into how to reverse this. Because if you look at like how vasectomy was, the how this thing was like figured out and thought out, there was a lot more science and quote unquote manpower behind it than the whole tying the tubes. They used to just fucking burn it back. They used to just burn the fucking tubes, and then that was it. You were done. For dudes, it's like, hey, I'll take it from you for now until you ask for it back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people see it as, no, you're taking my manhood, and it's like, no, dude.
That shit pisses me off, dude.
Well, I was gonna say, Richard, what were you gonna say about the last topic?
Okay,
jumping back.
Well, okay, so going back to like the whole health thing, I was just gonna say, like, from my experience, what's it called? I had that class in freshman year, of high school. So it was part health for the first semester, which is basically just talking about, fucking. I don't even remember that class, to be honest with you.
It's just like how the body works. It's almost like science biology shit, but it's like more your personal body a little bit.
Yeah,
just I never got that.
Eating habits or whatever.
And then,
I think.
And then the second half was sex ed, where I was just laughing because you said like, what did you say, like college student, coming.
Yeah, it was just some college student coming down here for some credits. I was like, I need to present this for my class.
My teacher, she was like this 45-year-old looking lady, but she dressed like everything in her attire was from fucking Forever 21. Like she made that known. It was just like, that's my favorite store, blah blah blah. And she dressed like if she had been trying to go to freaking fashion school like her entire life, type of thing. Which all power to her, right? It was just funny because it was like she was definitely older, you could tell. But she had that energy of like, now that you say it's like a college student coming in for what's it called?
Hey guys, so this is what chlamydia looks like.
Basically, and
this is what gonorrhea looks like.
Fucking
and if you have unprotected sex, you will die.
I just fucking remember, dude, like in that class, just fucking that one class clown that just comes up and is just like, Miss, why do I have to learn about this? I already had sex this morning or some shit.
Yeah,
it's just like. Kids are pieces of shit.
I hate kids.
Dude, I just remembered because you guys are talking about, I learned it in high school or my freshman year. I remember why I didn't. So I think the health teacher. So it's so sad. Public school is amazing. I think the health teacher was fired or like they quit, so they put somebody in there to cover. It happened. It happened. No, it happened to be one of the Spanish teachers. Which, to kind of add a little to it, that Spanish teacher's daughter was in our school.
Oh.
So she was in our school, and she was like, everybody knew who she was because that was the daughter's teacher or whatever. But she was like very hardcore Christian.
Okay.
And was very, very
the hardcore Christian
like
got assigned to teach sex ed.
Very like.
Oh, how fun!
And so. Yeah, so she was very hardcore Christian.
Jesus.
And it was like very implemented in, because the class clown, like you mentioned, was like, hey, when are we going to learn about sex? And then she was like, no, not until you're married.
Oh my god.
It's like, bitch, you're not my
Nope.
parents.
If anybody really thinks that their kids are gonna wait till they're married to have sex, please don't be dumb enough to like just think that that's gonna happen. Please educate your kids
I mean, even
and
if
your
they
sons
do,
and your daughters and anyone in between or non-conforming or non-binary. Please teach them safe.
Some of them
Proper
do
sex,
though. That's the
love
thing.
of
That's the
God.
thing. Like some kids end up doing it. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
necessarily because of like fear of repercussions of like what
I
happens.
feel like it's a bit of both. I feel like it's because of their parents, their upbringing, and their beliefs, and I think it's the fear of the repercussions because of like fear tactics. Honestly, that's what it felt like when I was looking at slides of like pimples and contortions and just shits on dick, and it was just like, this is what's gonna happen. I remember when I was filling up a dude like a month or a couple weeks after that whole sex ed thing, and I remember thinking to myself, do I have AIDS?
Oh.
Do I have HIV? I didn't fuck. I didn't suck. I didn't get fucked. I didn't get sucked.
You just
All I did
touched
was
the-
just touch some ass and just
he's
hump.
just walking around like this.
I didn't even.
with
I
his
was
hand?
just thinking to myself like, what did I do? I was in bed for like 4 hours, just like freaking myself out. Then I thought, you're dumb. You didn't have sex. You didn't do anything. You fucking virgin. And I was like, oh, okay. True. Knock right out. I was like, oh. But yeah, it's just, I feel like stuff like that kind of makes people like wait a little bit, like, because it's, I don't know, it's pretty natural.
Right.
Honestly, it's like one of the most natural things that we do as people. Honestly, if
It's
you're not into it, then you're not into it.
not
but
even
still,
as people, as animals. Let's
yeah,
whatever.
that's just beings
It's
living,
just beings. It's just us trying to
Yeah.
fucking leave some. Well,
procreate.
yeah, in a sense, but it's also for a lot of.
Yeah.
But then going back to the vasectomies thing, I was also gonna
Yes.
say like, I didn't fucking learn about that in that sex ed class, in the health class.
I don't think so either.
At least from what I
No.
remember, it didn't leave a lasting memory. So the only
I feel like I learned about it in passing.
I learned about it in fucking
Online.
Family Guy. On a
Maybe that
fucking
too.
adult show. Because I
Yeah.
remember there was one where what's it called? Like Peter went to go get one or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like
Right.
And then, they
think I
do
learned it
the
from
whole
the same
thing where it's
place,
like,
to be
they
honest.
clip the ball so that he doesn't, get Lois pregnant.
Right.
And I was just like, that's a
Right,
thing?
because she has a pregnancy scare
Right.
and shit
Yeah.
like that. So she was like, go get a vasectomy.
Right. So I was
I
like, that's
remember
a fucking thing. And then again, I remember it from Rhett and Link because they ended up getting vasectomy. Like I didn't think about it.
Oh.
They got vasectomies.
Oh.
And what's it called? They made a whole
Shit.
video about it, basically like
Aren't
Huh?
one of them gay now?
No.
I think one of them came out, right?
I don't think so.
Wait, who?
They're married. Well, as far as I
Oh,
know, they're still
really?
married. Yeah.
Oh no, was it Small? One of the duos from back in the day came out gay recently, I think.
I wouldn't be
Keep going.
Anyway,
Sorry.
you're fine.
Rhett and Link.
So
Got vasectomies.
they got the vasectomies and they did a whole video of it, like basically, and they had the doctor talking about the process and shit, and it literally took like 10 minutes and it was just done. And I was like, oh fuck, like why was this not taught as an option? And then only until recently did I learn also that it's reversible. I'm like, I didn't fucking know that either. Like, bro,
Wait, you said recently?
yeah, like I want to say like maybe like a couple months ago. I'm not saying
Oh
like
shit.
well, because I knew vasectomy was the thing. I didn't know that you could, reverse it so that in case you did end up wanting to get kids or having kids, you could just, reverse it. Obviously, there could be complications, but it's a lot safer than a lot of the shit that's out for women. And I'm just like,
birth control.
yeah, birth control, tying your tubes, all that shit. I'm like, bro, why isn't this taught to us? Because, like, as men too, it's like, some of us don't want to have kids either. Like,
Mhm.
and then what if
Yeah.
like what's it called? If we do end up wanting to do it, there's this fucking process that gives you that option instead of fucking forcing women to like, in a sense, make that option, or
Right.
which is a lot more dangerous for them. I'm like, why the fuck
Right.
isn't this a lot more common or at least taught
Yeah.
more? But yeah, and then
I
was-
no, I was just you keep going.
I was gonna say like, because then Steve said like, oh, it's this whole taking away your manhood type of thing or whatever the fuck. I'm like, why? Because what's it called? You're shooting blanks or whatever the fuck. I'm like, if anything, isn't that's still beneficial? Like honestly, I don't
Right.
see the fucking problem with that at all.
Right.
Uh, That's all I got.
Yeah.
Little rant.
I was gonna say I think like also when it comes down to like the women have more choices, or feminine people have more choices. I think it's also like it's just like I always think to those people that are like, I don't want to wrap up, just take this pill or go do this or go do that. It's like a lot of these choices, there is a lot of choices for women, but a lot of these choices have a lot of negative like side effects to women, and a good portion of them will happen to
They
women.
all do.
Mm-hmm.
They
Like,
all do.
whether that be nausea, heartburn, or something else that's a little bit more like intense, like that shit still fucking sucks. And just because you don't want to wrap up or you don't want to get a little procedure done so that you don't have to ruin this person's life and ruin your own, because I'm not saying unplanned pregnancies ruin everyone's lives, but they do make shit difficult.
Very.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
I wouldn't.
Really? You should maybe think about your options than just trying to like, then other than, I don't like rappers, they make me uncomfortable, they're not blah blah blah. It's like, listen, I'm not knocking people that do that, because I don't do that, but I'm also gay, and I trust my partners.
Mm-hmm.
So
I saw.
blah, blah, blah.
So I saw something about that. Kind of leading into that, I saw this thing. I forgot. It was a TikTok. It was talking about like there was this girl saying that she won't have sex with anybody until they provide results. But
That's good.
right.
That's fair.
So, there's some other people that were just saying like, would you find that offensive if you were like, basically about to have sex with somebody, or at least you think you're getting to that point.
I won't have sex with you unless I know you're
right.
in the clear negative.
Exactly. It's like, would you be kind of like upset about offended. It? Offended, like thinking like, why do you think I'm dirty?
Right.
Do you think I've, that's
mm-hmm. That is also a thing. So people don't like. I have no other way of saying it too when I'm talking to people online, and I like it's as fucked up or as lazy millennial as it sounds. Just saying, hey, do you have any STIs or whatever? It feels a little bit longer than saying clean ?
Yeah,
or whatever. But because it's apparently that is negative, because you're implying that people that have STIs are dirty,
right?
Yeah, and it's like, just because someone has HIV, AIDS, or whatever, a lot of that stuff, some of the more like, life-changing, life-threatening, infections are treatable and made manageable and undetectable and non-transmittable if you're on your medication and you're on top of your stuff. Get tested if you're
right,
especially if you've been with someone that you are under the idea or possibility that they might be in the clear. I like to say that. Yeah. So I don't know if I would take offense to that. I'm thinking about it.
Like I know someone someone said that they would, because like I said, like I guess it all depends on like the context of how you say it, because like if I guess in this person's mind, like I said, if they're like in the middle of getting hot, right?
Whatever, yeah.
What's it called? And
it's like it's a stop, but it's not just a stop. It's like a full like. Oh,
yeah.
What you doing?
Basically, it's like getting blue balled or whatever the fuck, for lack of a better analogy. But then she said it in a way it's like oh well, how do you bring it up? It's like, well, I'll just be like, if it gets to that point, I'll just be like, okay, like hold on, like I would like to escalate this further, but before that I would really be a lot more comfortable if you could provide some results or a test. And it's just like, yeah, like that's respectable. That's something that honestly,
it's fair.
It's a fair thing to ask, no matter what, at least in my opinion.
I recently had to go through that. Sorry, I was just gonna say I recently had to go through that because there was some dude that I used to hook up with a little bit in the past. We hooked up like I think once or twice. But he would use rubber every time, and I was like, okay, whatever, no problem with me. But this time, he wanted to hook up or whatever, and I was like, okay, cool. What are you like in the clear, basically? He was like, well, I've never been tested before, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. And I was like, I don't know about that.
Sketchy.
I don't know about that. Yeah, so I told him, I was like, okay, well, you should. That'd be helpful for me, because I'd be doing activities that would include bodily fluids or whatever. So if you could do that for me, that'd be tight. But then it kind of led to this whole like, well, you know, we're still talking about doing it and we're hooking up, and then I was basically like, okay, well, I'm not gonna ingest anything or have anything kind of go inside all this, you know, so just to let you know. But then there's the whole like idea of like, that is literally like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna pull out. And it's like, do you really trust someone that much to do that for you? You know, like, So he messaged me, like I told him, oh, I'll be around this time free, and then he hit me up, and I was like, honestly, I'm not too comfortable, not too down. I would really appreciate if you did like kind of get that shit checked out, just in case, you know. Cause I'm cool, clear or whatever.
It's honestly like the way she said it.
And he got upset.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. It's like you're literally putting like, hey, we can have sex. Just get a test done. That'll take like 10 minutes max.
It's pretty fast coming from someone. From someone. HIV test pretty quick, especially the quick testing ones. Those ones, you know, especially nowadays, apparently they're like 100% or 99 or 90%, because the whole like liability thing can't say it's 100 because it's, you know, but yeah, it takes like at most an hour, I think, especially if you're kind of going in there without an appointment. If you make an appointment with most of your primary care, and I feel like some primary cares do that, if not all of them, you can always look it up online. It's very, very easy. I looked up the closest one for me. If you're not going to your primary, you can still go, and they will give you at least my insurance and my primary was like, okay, we'll give them a day pass, and it basically allows you to use the services at that office or at that, you know, clinic, and you're in the clear, and your insurance will cover and all that stuff, so you're taken care of. Also, some places I know in some gay neighborhoods specifically, especially when you're going out. I don't know if they do them now. Back in the day, they would have, it's just a bus, and you go up and they do a test for you for, you know, HIV, AIDS, stuff like that. It's very straightforward, and it's pretty fast. It's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you're checked out. So, you know, do yourself a favor and know your status. It doesn't hurt. And if anything, you might be saving your own life. Shit.
It's true. Steve, you're gonna say
what were you gonna say?
So this kind of ties into what you said, Lee, about the whole like people get like how he got offended.
Oh yeah.
So love and respect, my first sociology professor. He was out. He's like, hey, look, I'm gay. I'm married to another man. We would come in and he'd be playing EDM, and that's how he would start his mornings. Like he'd be bumping and fucking headbanging, and I'm like, okay, cool. But his biggest topic when he came to that, because someone like, I remember the one of the big topics was sex, and it was like this is my opinion, and this is the way I view it, or the way like I was brought up to view it. Was the people who get offended are the people who fall under the two buckets of A, they've never been tested,
true,
or B, are so unaware and unsure about themselves that they take it offensive. They take it offensively, where it's like, why is this person looking at me like if I'm dirty? Like what gave that opinion?
Yeah, and I feel like it's almost like a kind of fear, and that fear translates to anger.
Yeah,
almost.
and the human reaction is, well, fuck you. Like, why am I dirty? Like, what if you're
anger,
dirty?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
So it's like, yeah, I think anybody who's gonna have sexual encounters with with a variety amount of partners is you're entitled to ask, and if you're willing to indulge in those activities with this person and they ask you, you shouldn't be offended. Like, you should take it. You should probably you as an adult, you should probably get tested if you're running around having sex with other people.
Yeah.
It's like it's like, if you're not doing that to begin with, you shouldn't even be doing that, because now you're not only risking your health or your livelihood, or however you want to view it, or like change, you know, because, you know, these things did change lives drastically for others, you know? But so it's like, if you are going to add to those activities, then you should probably be one of the people who get tested for yourself and for the safety of others, because even if that law, for example, like ours, doesn't exist anymore, where it's like the don't ask, don't tell thing, it's like, it's polite. It's a polite thing and well mannered thing to ask somebody like, hey, have you been tested if we're gonna do this? You know, it's just, and it's very common sense. You know, it's like, and I get it. You're scared because you don't know yourself, but it's like, hey, just get tested. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, like if you're already doing your yearly checkups, like this should be part of that routine,
right?
Or bi-monthly or monthly, or how often you're sexually active. Like you should get tested. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say the rule of thumb is usually like you get tested before, like per new partner. Almost.
Yeah.
If you're, I would assume like if you're staying with that partner for a certain amount of time, or if you're just hooking up with that person for like exclusively, it doesn't have to be a relationship. You're just fucking exclusively. But
and I think that policy should fall under like couples or people you're fucking exclusively, because it's like you never know. You know, it's like just because I'm fucking you exclusively doesn't mean you might be fucking me exclusively.
Right, exactly.
You know, so it's like get tested for your well-being, and it's such a nice like clean state of mind to know that like, okay, I'm in the clear. Like I'm
right.
good,
Yeah, it's good to know. Yeah.
It's so, and it's comforting. Like it's comforting to know like, oh shit, okay, I'm good. I'm good. Like I didn't know, but now I know.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I was also saying like when you said it was like, you know, it should be a commonplace thing, or like, you know, just something that you should be doing regularly. It's like, it's one thing if it was something that, you know, was hard to come by, but like Lee said, there's so many resources. And just,
it's very quick.
Yeah, so many ways to go get
easy.
it done quick and easy. It's like, why not? You know, like you said, eases your mind, helps you get an understanding of where you're at, and you know, health wise or whatever. So it's just beneficial on both parts. It's called, you get anything cleared up that you might have been thinking about in the back of your head.
Peace of mind.
And you get to fuck.
Yeah, to bust that nut.
I was gonna say, also for most, if not all, I don't think all, good portion of STIs, there is pretty solid telltales basically of like, oh, things are burning, things are itching, or things feel off, discharge is happening at certain things.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good telltale that you might have something. The serious one would be, you know, HIV, AIDS, or whatever. That's pretty quick, very fast. 15 minutes, I think that at most. It's pretty long 15 minutes. I will tell you from someone that is of recent experience of that. It was a very long 15 minutes. Also, my nurse was like, so I was like, why the fuck are you pausing? That shit should say like pregnant, not pregnant.
What?
HIV plus, HIV negative. Like, you better have that kind of, I don't know what the fuck you pausing for. And she was like, okay, you're in the clear. I was like, oh my god.
Did they give you a bag of condoms?
Fuck. I wish.
A bag?
I wish. Oh,
Planned
what they
Parenthood
did
used to
do
that.
though was, I was gonna say, so with all that being
Like a
said,
little
there are
break.
preventatives, of course. Like we were saying, there's preventatives for, you know, pregnancies, you know, condoms, you know, stuff like that, vasectomies, tube ties, whatever, pill after, plan B, whatever. Birth control. There's a form of birth control for, I think, everyone. I don't think it's just predominantly men. Most of these products, though, or pills, apparently are chemically made for men. Some of them are good for trans people. Some of them aren't. From what I remember, the nurse or the doctor telling me. But there's a lot of like, it's called PrEP, basically. I don't really know the full name, and there's different forms of it. But PrEP is just kind of like an umbrella thing, and then there's like multiple different pills and different methods of having it. It basically just kind of protects you from the infection of getting AIDS that then leads into, or HIV that then leads into AIDS.
Right.
So you either take a pill or you can get a shot, and the shots, you know, once a month for the first 2 months, and then after that it's every 2 months, and you're in the clear. The only thing is, obviously, you have to plan your stuff around this shot to make sure you're in the clear, or you're basically taking a pill every single day or every other day, depending on which one you're using, and that's all you do. It's basically birth control. It's basically birth control for men, I think it's predominantly for men. I'm trying to think if there's any from what he told me, but I'm a guy, so he didn't really tell me about the female options or if it worked out. But I remember there being him specifically saying this works for trans people, trans folk. But if you're being sexually active, if you're going out doing your dude, doing the do, or getting dude in the dude by a dude or whatever, I don't know, or a person, then I don't know, check it out. Call up your local clinic and ask some questions. If you don't, or I'll say Google it, but let's just face it, WebMDing your own symptoms or Googling some things is kind of just worse for wear, honestly.
You have cancer.
Yeah.
I have a fever. Cancer.
Death.
My tummy hurts.
Chicken pox. No, monkey pox. Sorry.
That's a thing again. So.
Oh shit, dude. No, monkeypox. Yeah, I haven't kept up with it at all. Like
I don't know anything.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
don't. It's such a like fucking.
It's like a
I feel like
variant for whatever.
I was gonna say I feel like it's just so like easy to tell if someone has it too, because it's
because it's physical. Yeah.
Blots, boils or whatever. It's like red spots.
Yeah.
Of course, someone's gonna have it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Besides, move on or end, because where do we go from sex advice and safe sex? I'm trying to think. We were talking about Baymax.
I
have it.
Okay.
Yo, don't be an asshole and toxic in voice chat, because you're gonna get banned in Valorant.
Oh, that's a very
what?
Big. That's a very big.
Is that really happening?
Yeah, that's happening. So it's happening like sometime like early July, which is tomorrow. Starting tomorrow month. Wait, July's tomorrow, right? Yeah.
July's tomorrow.
Holy shit.
As of this recording.
Today's Thursday?
Oh, that's right. To all my fellow LGBTQIA plus folk out there, we had a good month. I hope everybody else had a good month. I have a shitty fucking month.
Listen,
this month sucked.
Yo,
cheek.
Did you get your nut out?
The worst kind of cheek.
Wait. Did you get your nut out?
No.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Yeah,
no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
What? Okay, we'll talk about that off camera. Yeah, that's
I didn't. No.
I'm upset for you now.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, don't be toxic.
Love this pride.
I was still gonna say at least tomorrow, birth month.
Yes.
We have something to celebrate. We will make that your actual month. That is your month. Okay, cool.
Yes, because I need to make up for this fucked month.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say, Steve?
Oh, I was like birth month. I was like, oh, his birthday.
Birthday. Yeah.
I was like, what?
It took a whole month to be born.
I was like, what the fuck's a birth month?
1 month. It came out.
Like, don't come at me with that. It's my birthday, so it's my month. Like, no, shut up. It's July and it's hot and it's gross.
Yeah, and I'm hot.
Except your birthday.
Gross.
You are gross.
Mm-hmm.
Give him enough soju and he's hella gross.
Let's go to Mexico.
For my birthday?
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of girl. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I just want to go.
Whore you out, dude.
I want to go I want to get one of those cataritos, the big ass motherfucking.
I don't know why we need to have a reason to go to that.
You can do that. You can do that in San Diego. I know.
Let's go to San Diego.
Okay, wait. So before we, yeah. So because we're just falling off topic.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway. Yeah. If you guys watch
Pride, what were you gonna say?
Valorant.
Oh.
It's important, dude.
Okay.
Sure.
That's not that important. It's just don't be an asshole. You're gonna get recorded and banned if you put a lot of money into your account.
I can tie this. I can tie this.
I just can't believe it.
I can tie this going into fucking
Pride.
No,
into Mexico.
Not Pride.
Or
what the fuck is his name? Greek god. Just literally.
I didn't know we were gonna go full circle. I thought we were gonna go like a new circle or try to connect it to our last topic.
You're gonna if you're gonna say anything, just
just careful how you say it.
Consequences. Okay. Especially in a game where you're gonna be fucking what's it called? They have every right to kind of see what you're saying and more than likely just fucking ban your ass. So I don't know. Steve decided to throw in Valorant. We're here.
I just wanted to get off the political topics because
It was fine.
We were very on it, even though. Yeah. Lee, we gotta discuss that. I thought you got your nut out. That is.
Oh. On July 13th, we will begin background launch on the voice evaluation system in North America / English only to help train our language models and get tech in good enough place for a beta launch later this year. Riot Games wants to test the training model before rolling it out across blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so it looks like they are. We'll be taking a look at disruptive behavior in our games for a while, and voice evaluations is just one of the ways we want to make our games better for everyone who plays them. Disruptive behavior on voice comms is a huge pain point for a lot of our players, and we believe one of the ways to combat it is by providing quick and accurate ways to report abuse or harassment, so we know when to take action. We also need clear evidence to verify violations of behavioral policies before we take action, and to help us share with players on why a particular behavior may have resulted in a penalty. So they really are. So they're going to be implementing on July 13th. They're going to make a voice evaluation system. So basically, they're going to be recording our voices to understand what we're saying and how it's offensive and why it's offensive, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point later in the year, they're going to implement a Vanguard system, basically, that is going to be monitoring your voices. And if someone reports you, then the system will then go off of what you said as well as what you wrote on the chat.
Yeah. It's basically, so they're doing like this, it's called machine learning, basically. It's just a bunch of
teaching an AI what's offensive and what's not offensive.
Oh man, I wish we would have talked about that. We'll talk about it another day.
We can still go. What?
There's
because they're just talking about Valorant.
Did you guys see that? Yeah. Speaking of science. No, the AI thing. Did you guys see that NASA reporter who's getting like shut out, like quieted, like they're like shushing him? Because supposedly NASA has this like full operational AI that can think and speak for itself. And has
are you surprised? Are we all?
No, I'm not
surprised.
I'm not surprised, but it's like
saying NASA has already put out a statement saying that no, that's not true. Blah blah blah. At this point, it's he said, she said type of thing.
The UFOs are real. So.
We'll never fucking know because we're just common people who don't have to know. At least
I know somebody who works at NASA, dude.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. I feel like you just kind of have to assume that almost everything that you think is plausible might be real. I don't know. Yeah. Especially if it involves technology. Mm-hmm. Like there are UFOs, unidentified flying objects. That is 100% a thing. We have seen UFOs. But if you're gonna talk about extraterrestrial life, then yeah, I mean, I believe. Aliens,
yeah, same.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Just the idea of like us being the single most evolved like organism in the universe, the fucking Milky, like not even the Milky Way, just all of existence, and there's just this one little rock floating in space. This rock is gonna die at some point, y'all. So if you're like the idea of like, oh, there's gonna be no life in the universe, and because this place is gonna die at some point, then by all means be nihilistic. I'm good.
There's a planet that's similar to ours.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
that's cool. The red one.
A couple planets like ours.
No, it's like officially like it's very like
a sister planet.
Like picture, like they're studying it to see if it actually does have photosynthesis, and because of the star, it like everything's red.
Yeah, it looks like it's it looks like it has water. It looks like it has what's it called? It's very plausible to have life, and because of the temperature of the sun, or like the how close it is, something like that. Something about this. Well, yeah, their star. What's it called? And the plants, if there are any, wouldn't be green because that wouldn't be the best wavelength to get energy from the sun. It would be red. So I don't know. It sounds dope. Like low key, like if it somehow ends up becoming true, like
my kids have a chance.
There's no way we'll probably live to see
Add 5 more kids to that. Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? For future generations, that's pretty cool. If we make it there.
If they make it.
Yeah.
Elon makes that rocket.
Yeah, I was going back to it was just because now we're talking about space and shit, and I was just thinking, like you said, you brought up the whole thing of like this fucking there's no way we can be the only ones. Right. So it's called the Fermi paradox. It's basically like this whole thing. It's like there's this fucking endless void of just it's. The universe is way bigger than we can possibly conceive in our brains or whatever.
Yes.
But what's it called? And it's just like there has to be, at least probability tells us that there has to be life out there somewhere else, because there's no way that the Earth itself is just this one out of 1,000 forever the fuck out of it. There's just no way. So the paradox is it's like, well, where are they? Why haven't we found them? And then on the other side, it's are they there and they just don't want us to be, or they don't want to be known by us?
The Fermi paradox is a conflict between the lack of clear evidence for extraterrestrial life and have various high estimations for their existence. As the 2015 article put it, if life is so easy, someone from somewhere must have come calling by now.
That's what we're saying. It's like, and then obviously, you know, there's people who are saying like, well, look at the Egyptians, look at what's it called, the Aztecs,
the Mayans, Aztecians, yeah.
It's like at least a lot of people believe that they've already been here and they've kind of, in a sense, shared maybe their gifts,
like influenced us,
right,
in our upbringing or whatever. Yeah,
and it's like, you know what? When I think about it, I'm like, you know, it could be true that they did visit us, and then
I believe that
you think
a lot of those hieroglyphics are fucking crazy,
right?
looking.
And then people are like, well, where are they? Like, why aren't they here? It's like, well, maybe they
Who
left.
says they're not?
Maybe they left, and you know, planning to come back, but it's like interstellar, you know, because time is relative. Like by the time they get there in like whatever a year to them, you know, it's already been 1,000 years for us. So it's like, in a sense, it kind of makes sense why we haven't seen them if they have been. So
true.
I don't know. I fucking love talking about this shit just because it's fucking.
Oh, they're all lizard
so
people.
It's
trippy. It's so trippy.
Who says
really
we're not lizard people? Just evolved to hide our scales.
Justin Bieber's lizard people.
Oh, poor
Yo,
JB.
no.
I'm only saying that because it was a big ass fucking rumor for like the longest. It was like, or
Yeah, but he's sick. So
I know,
we're
but
talking about that.
Well, on that, you guys, I think we're going to wrap it up because we're an hour and 16 into this, and our editor is going to have a field day downloading everything. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank y'all for watching, for listening, wherever you are watching or listening to this train wreck of a podcast. My name is Lee Saris. You call me Lee. You can find me literally on anything and everywhere under Lee Saris, LeeSarous. Steve?
All
right, Richard.
I'll just make it easier on us. All of our socials and links will be in the description below.
Sure.
If you're listening to this, what's it called? I'm at Rich Scorpion. Steve is at NinjaB, and
Thanks for listening.
JUB.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for watching, y'all, and listening. We'll catch you guys later.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Later.